Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Empire Secrets. Happy 2025. I am so excited for this year. Happy New Year. I'm recording this literally yesterday, so the episode drops tomorrow. And I had another episode planned for today, which is a great one. It's coming. It's an interview that I did, or a chat that I had really, with Gemma Bonham Carter, and it was so amazing, including some predictions for 2025. But something in my heart just told me, like, you know what? I want to come on. This is the first episode of the year, and I really wanted to come and share with you guys and just show up. And I feel like it really aligns with how I'm feeling right now. How I'm feeling and as I look forward to 2025. And I wanted to share a little bit about what my plans are, what I'm seeing in the marketplace. And I'm like very filled with adrenaline right now. Two things happened. We delivered 2 brand video signatures back to back. So yesterday and today, we delivered full brand video signatures. And guys, I can't even tell you how in love I am with them. They are so good. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of my own work. I'm proud of my clients. I'm proud of my team. Like, my gosh, like, if it really has been a while since I have remembered to be so appreciative of my team. And like, it's literally New Year's Day right now, right? And my team was working round the clock. I have team members in the Philippines, in Poland, in LA, here in New York. Like, I have team members all over the world in different time zones, and everyone was working at a different time, but also just like so invested in pushing this through. Both of these clients are in the fitness industry, and we really wanted to hit this deadline of having their brand videos come out January 1st. And so one of them came out yesterday, and then the other one today. I am so freaking proud. They are already like posted all over their funnels. You know, this client's amazing too, where he just like does things immediately, which is like a dream client, right? And so he's already posted it on all of his social. So TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, I think also. And then he's uploading it to his sales page. He's uploading it to his About Me page, his homepage, email signature. There's a little thumbnail going in there. What else? It really lives in so many different places. I have all sorts of like ninja ways to use the brand video. The other one is that I really, really love to use is when somebody follows you on social, you have like a message that's ready to go. I don't automate this message on purpose, because part of the message says like it's actually me and not a bot. And I think that really, really is important to say these days, where everything is automated, everything's a bot. So I use a ManyChat, type automation, and I always identify like, hey, I'm Mariana's friendly bot. I really feel like it's actually really disrespectful to me not to do that. And I know that it's commonplace. Everybody doesn't do that. So this is a message that goes out like, hey, thanks so much for the follow. I'd love to learn a bit more about you. I love human connection, and I'd love to get to know your story. Here's mine. Here's a snapshot of my story. There was somebody that I followed that actually did that the first time for me. And I'm not going to be able to remember his name. So it wasn't my idea originally, but it was such a brilliant idea. So now it's one of the recommendations for, the quote unquote distribution strategy of the brand video, like essentially everywhere it needs to live and how to use it. So it's one of my favorites. Obviously, welcome sequence, like there's a very long list of places where your brand video is going to live for a long time, right? You place it in all of these places so that it's very, very visible. Every single person that comes in contact with you or doesn't reach out to you, but is connecting with you in some way, or is literally just checking you out before they've, followed you or before they've done anything else, they need to watch your brand video. So that's the last part of our process, working with our done for you clients and obviously my students as well. I guide them in all of these different places where their brand video needs to live. So I am just like thrilled. I can't wait to share it. In fact, like I feel like I need to really give it some time to announce these brand videos. But anyway, so in this episode of Empire Secrets, I wanted to share what I am planning what I'm working on in 2025, the things that I think are going to blow up. There's one thing in particular that I think is going to go very mainstream. But yeah, let me just dive right in. The big things on my plate for, if you followed me for a while, you know that I do a 12-week year. I actually have one of my very early episodes of this podcast where I talk about the 12-week year book. So 12-week year means I'm focused on the first quarter. So I have my big goals for the year, but really what I'm focused on in a very break down the steps, break down the micro goals, the milestones within each of those steps, or to get to each of those goals within the 12-week year. And so what I'm focused on is a launch for the Brand Video Accelerator in March. So I'm going to launch in early March for the next cohort. And if you follow me, you've heard me talk about this, but I am beyond excited about all of the changes that are coming to the Brand Video Accelerator, how I have completely restructured it around AI. And what that means is previously students going through the program, they would have to do a lot of this work manually, right? They would have to do a lot of calls with their audience where I have them ask very specific questions to their audience. I am cutthroat about this. I really don't want you to move forward until I feel like you know your audience like the back of your hand. The second part is you do a similar thing, but with yourself. You really want to understand why people buy from you. Why are you special? What makes you different? Why did they buy specifically from you? Right? When they could have gone to somebody else. And there's a lot of beauty in asking don't get me wrong, doing this work is so precious. It's so important. It's so valuable. But what was happening is that my students were taking a long time. Obviously everyone's running a business. And so the idea that this is not the only thing you're working on. And so even my most dedicated students, I was looking at the program and feeling like, wow, I really need to find ways to make this faster. I want them to get to the end goal of finished brand video faster. So the next step is story banking, is understanding what stories you're going to tell that could essentially speak to the intersection of what your audience is like and what's important for them and how they are and their fears and desires and aspirations, and who you are, what makes you special and unique, and all of that stuff. So speaking to the intersection, which are the stories that I can tell about myself? What are they anecdotal? What kind of stories do I have? Do I have a brand story that's a passion story? Do I have a brand story that's an overcome story? And I will talk about all of these things in the next couple of episodes. I've decided to just kind of flip things around. I'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, so you story bank, and then after you story bank and you've decided which story you're going to tell, then it's time to script your story, right? To actually write out what you're going to say. So this is where the how you're going to say your story comes into play. How are you going to tell that story in a way that really connects emotionally with your audience? So once you have that script, then you're ready to film your brand video and edit your brand video. Now, I haven't found a way yet where AI can help with the actual filming or the actual editing. I know the editing is we're probably a few months away from being able to have automated editors. So I'm sure that's coming. Filming, who knows, unless you want to use AI generated video, which maybe, I don't know what my program is going to look like in a year, but I know that the AI generated videos are getting so good, ridiculously good. And so is there a world where people are just going to use their AI avatars and have AI generated video of themselves in their brand video? You know what? Probably. And that's maybe a topic for another day. But anyway, so all of these processes in the beginning of creating your brand video were being done manually, but looking at AI and being how can I use this to make this process faster? And the backstory is that I started working with some brand video signature clients, so my done for you clients. And I started realizing, I was I really feel like I could use ChatGPT or a custom GPT bot to help me with some of these things. And so little by little, I started creating my own custom GPTs and realizing that oh my gosh, this is so much faster. I'm able to get to process information or to get ideas and just to interact with it, but within the framework, right? I'm not having to each time in regular chat GPT sort of teach it everything. I'm able to create a custom GPT that basically has these knowledge files that are the framework, are the guardrails for what I want to do. And so that entire structure of these bots was helping me work so much faster with all of these different steps of the process. And so to sum it up, what I've decided to do for the next cohort of the Brand Video Accelerator is essentially take all of that work out of my students' hands so that I'm getting some inputs from them at the beginning of the program before we even start. I have like an onboarding call and I get some inputs from them that even like without the onboarding call. And I am running them through my own bots so that we are essentially starting the program. We're starting the group coaching part of the program with their script, their shot list, and a plan for their shoot day. Like, mind blown, right? Like the idea that we can actually start with these really awesome drafts, right? They're rough drafts, they're sort of starting points, but they're there. Like there's something that we can work on. And we, instead of spending all of our time creating these assets from scratch, we're now spending our time fine-tuning and refining them. So I am so excited. Look, so my custom GPTs, which are my AI dream team right now, are built. They're ready to go. I will obviously like keep tweaking them, keep making them better, but they're amazing. I am like so impressed each time I use them. I don't know if they're like getting better or what. Maybe like the language model is getting better, so they're getting better. Obviously, or actually, I don't know if obviously or not, depending on how familiar you are with custom GPTs. But you're using a new thread each time, so they're not really learning from a previous thread. I don't think. It's safe to say they're not. But anyway, so with that said, if you are not familiar with custom GPTs, this is a perfect segue into the next thing I wanted to share. So first thing, my entire program is going to now be a very hefty done for you portion. The group coaching part of it where we fine tune your script and we fine tune your shot list and your plan for your shoot day. And then my friend, I'm helping students film and make sure that it's filmed properly. The VIP students, they essentially give us their footage. So my team edits it. The regular track students, they're then editing it themselves. And there's a lot of help I can give them there. Obviously, like my course materials kind of teach them a lot of things. So in addition to completely restructuring my program around AI with this big done for you portion, I wanted to talk to you about this other thing that's got me really, really excited. I had this vision a little while ago, and to be honest, I kind of struggled with it. I really went back and forth for several weeks in my mind being like, this is just shiny object, like don't pay attention to this. And yet I kept thinking over and over, I need to do something about this. Like what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that I spent hours and hours and hours studying how to create custom GPTs, how to create my own AI assistants. And I cannot put into words or like on paper how many hours I studied how to create this. Like it was an absurd amount. And there were times where I was like, oh my gosh, I give up. I'm going to buy the expensive program that's just going to teach me how to do this. But at the same time, I was like, but I've already put all this effort into it. And what if I get into the program and I feel like, I'm not getting all of my money's worth because I've already put so much effort into studying this thing. So I'm just going to like pay to sort of fine tune my knowledge base for like my understanding. And I have to say, I got to a point where I had studied so much and talked with so many people and watched so many trainings and really tested and created my own and tested them. And I was starting to see the amazing results. I was like, you know what? I feel confident. Like my team is amazing. And so I decided that I didn't want anybody else, no other entrepreneur out there, to spend the amount of time that I did to learn these things or to have to spend an enormous amount of money learning how to build their own custom GPTs. And so this is where the shiny object thing was, right? Like I want to do this thing. I want to like help people learn this. But this is not my business. Like I'm not teaching people AI. But ultimately I decided, you know what? If I do this, it has to be in 2024. It cannot spill over into 2025. And my friends, that's exactly what I did on New Year's Eve. So yesterday, New Year's Eve, I was teaching a custom GPT training. And I kid you not, I had a ton of signups for it. I didn't do a ton of promotion. I sent out a couple of emails. If you're on my email list, you may have seen them, or maybe you're out of office and you didn't see them. It was just totally fine. There are replays, but I sent like maybe 2 emails about it and I posted it in like one group. And ultimately I was so impressed with how many people signed up to this thing. And it really was amazing to teach. I taught for almost 2 hours. I thought it was going to be a 1 hour training. Nope. It took me, by the time we got through everything, it was about an hour and 45. So it's very robust. It really, I actually, like, I never do this, right? Like, I have heard people, like really high-end marketers, talk about the importance of rewatching your own content, like going back and doing the uncomfortable thing of watching yourself on camera and critiquing yourself. And I cringe. I don't do it very often. I know I should. But let me tell you, this morning, I decided to rewatch my training yesterday. I did watch it on like maybe 1.5 or 2x or something, right? I watched it pretty fast. I could not believe how much I loved it. Like I'm not in love with myself, I promise. However, it was that darn good. It was good. I was like, I don't know. Like maybe a little bit in the beginning, it could have been a little bit more concise in 1 or 2 spots, but this thing is chock full of gold. The tips that I share in this training, it took me months and months to learn them. So I collected all of these tips and I put it into this training and it's available. So if you are interested in creating your own custom GPTs, essentially your own personal assistants, and why is it different than using ChatGPT? So I obviously go into that in the training, and I am going to create like a sales page that kind of explains some of these FAQs, like why do I want a custom GPT versus just using ChatGPT? Like what's the difference? So essentially like for repetitive tasks, for tasks that you want to do at the click of a button. That's what these custom GPTs are for. They are trained with specific custom instructions for how to output a certain thing. This is exactly what I want you to do. And this is my audience. And this is my brand voice. And these are all these things. A custom GPT already knows all those things. So all you have to do is, hey, here's this piece of information, or here's this thing that I want you to do, right? So if it's, I have a custom GPT, for example, that with one click of a button, it gives me all of my podcast show notes in my voice, right? And with, titles and descriptions and all of it. And yes, I do look over every single one of them. Yes, I do make tweaks here and there, but it is so fast now to do it. The other thing that it does is, or here's another example of a custom GPT that's really kind of boring, but it's so fast. And now that I know how to build them, I just keep building them. So another custom GPT that I have, for example, will take the transcript of a class that I teach, or, one of my weekly coaching sessions, or whatever it may be, whatever I want to summarize. And it helps me summarize, or it actually summarizes it for me with time codes so that each topic is outlined with a headline, a tiny description, and the time code. Instead, for example, so if you buy this training, you'll see that that's exactly what I did, where you can find the part that you're looking for by doing a Command F, or just like looking through the titles, and you can see the exact time code where I talk about this. And I know that other tools out there that do that, but I don't need any other tool, right? Like I built my own tool. So, which reminds me, because Seth Godin, in a recent thing that I watched, talked about how if you're not spending at least 1 hour a day in AI, you're already getting left behind. So I spend way more than that right now. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I'm already in chat anyway. I can, at the click of a button, be inside my bot, and boom, it will do tasks for me at the drop of a hat. And that's just like the most simple stuff I just described. The more elaborate stuff that I can describe, I have an audience deep dive bot, which creates an amazing customer persona profile for you based on like very little, guys, like based on very little information about who you serve and what you help them achieve. And based on that, it will create not only demographics for your persona, for your ideal customer avatar, but also psychographics that are much more important, right? What are their fears, their desires, their aspirations? Like, what are their objections to your offer? It's so good. And it spits out quotes as well. Like, these are things they would say. And it actually, I built it so that it spits out a couple of things that are really relevant to our brand video script in terms of like how they describe their life beforehand, how they describe their life afterwards, and what does trust feel like for them in regards to your offer. Anyway, so with all of that said, So I did this training yesterday. It's available at brandmagnetic.com/AI training. If you are interested, go ahead and take a look. I actually do have a coupon code if you're interested in picking it up for 70% off. And I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep it up. So if you're listening to this episode and you already know that you want to learn how to create your own AI assistants, then honestly, do not wait. Like, the price is going to go up. So it's very cheap right now at 70% off. As honestly, I'm going to collect testimonials and really build a sales page. And then I'm going to run ads to it. And so I know that we're already in 2025 and I promised this would end in 2024, but I had such good feedback from folks who attended. Everyone who attended stayed for the 2 hours, or most people did. There was like one person who had to leave. And then people were like asking me for the replay this morning, like on New Year's Day. They were like, where's the replay? I want to watch it again. I want to watch it because I missed it yesterday. Like, it is hot. Pick it up with 70% off with the coupon code SAVE70. So I'll put this all in the show notes, but it's brandmagnetic.com/AI training. And the coupon code is 70. All right, my friends. So that is another thing I wanted to tell you about, that I did this training and I was so happy with it. And I want to create an ad funnel around this training, because the way that I'm thinking about this is that I feel like I can use this training as a lead gen, but also immediately tell people about who I am. So I did talk about this within the training. Like, I infused examples of how I'm using my own custom GPTs. So as you're watching the training, you understand what I do. At least if you're intrigued, it can intrigue you, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you understand enough about what I do that if you want to learn more, you know that you can, right? Versus like not knowing anything about me and just learning about custom GPTs. So essentially, I use my own examples, I use my own stories, and all of these things are, once people hear them, they can know more about what I do. So what I'm thinking also is just in terms of like the nurture sequence behind that. So if I use this training and the bot that's currently a bonus for this training, there's a bot that I created called the Brand Voice Guide Generator. The Brand Voice Guide Generator is hot. It is so freaking good. All you have to do is upload a few samples of your writing in your website and your socials, and it will create a brand voice guide for you, which is exactly what you need for ChatGPT to sound just like you. So this is a bonus for this like really, really affordable training that I did, that again is more robust than things that I've paid hundreds of dollars for. So I am hoping that you will take advantage of this sale and of this gift. Basically, it's a gift. The reason I want you to pay for it is because I want you to actually take it. So it's almost like it's the only reason I'm charging for it. Anyway, not that I'm opposed to making money, but I really do believe that I am doing it more to help people and not have to have them go through the same amount of time and effort that I went through to learn all this stuff myself. All right, so finally, because I'm going to have my new launch of the Brand Video Accelerator in March, what I'm doing right now is literally putting a checklist together of everything I need to do. And oh boy, is there a lot on that list right now. There are so many things that I don't actually have in place right now, or that I need to completely revisit and revise. So I'm creating a new sales page, everything, new sales page, a webinar script, all the email funnels, content between now and then, all my pre-launch content is getting created and getting done. And then I'm also going to host a workshop in February called Undeniable. I am so in love with the concept of this workshop, you guys, and I'll tell you more about it in the next episodes, but do not miss Undeniable. It's going to be so affordable and amazing. It's going to be chock full of content. And the entire purpose of this webinar, just like to give you a peek behind the scenes, is to help get folks excited about their story. So essentially, like, once you understand what story is going to create trust in your audience, there's no way you're not going to want to create a video around it. So that's going to be the point of the workshop, is to really be a workshop and not just a session of masterclasses or a learning experience. It's really going to be hands-on. And I want to essentially like space it out a little bit, maybe do it over 2 weeks where I have 4 sessions, like 2 sessions in each of the weeks. So maybe like Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday, something like that. But I am excited about Undeniable. It's going to be amazing. And it's going to be right, essentially like leading up to my launch. So that is the BTS of my business right now. And between you and me, I didn't really take a break over the holidays. I did spend some time with family. I did spend some time like not working. But some of these things were just things I really wanted to get done. I didn't want to wait to do these things. And we have some amazing like travel plans this year. I can finally say this year because it's 2025. We have some amazing travel plans. So I know that the time will come where I'm going to be, taking a break and away from my computer. But until then, I am like pushing forward and really, really excited about everything that's on the horizon. So with that said, I'm going to leave you with for this episode. I'm wishing you such an amazing 2025. If you have your 2025 already planned out, I would love to hear about it. Contact me on Instagram. You know where to find me. I'm at Brand Magnetic. Send me a DM, send me a voice note. Tell me what you're up to. I feel really selfish sometimes where I'm just like sharing what I'm doing. I'd really love to hear what you're up to and what you're working on. And take a look at that AI training before that coupon code expires. Once again, that's brandmagnetic.com/AI training. And right now that just leads you to a checkout page. So until I have a sales page, the best thing to do is, if you're on my email list, take a look at the last 2 emails I sent where I really go deep into why this is important for you to know this. I actually had a student of mine this morning who asked, she was like, I'm doing okay without AI right now. I feel like I really should maybe focus on the things that I know work for my business. And listen, as much as I get this, because again, I am also very much focused on, I've got blinders on for what I'm doing. However, what I told her was that I 1000% believe that if you are not learning this skill set, you will get left behind in your business. There's no part of me that thinks that is not going to happen. That is 100% going to happen. And very, very smart people like Seth Godin and other people are also saying the same thing. Do not get left behind. This is the moment to be investing in the skill sets that are going to pay off today. So the training that I talked to you about, that I just did yesterday, it will pay off immediately. Like, you will be creating your own custom GPTs and your own AI bots that actually work within minutes. You will be able to create your own custom GPTs in a matter of maybe less than 15 minutes. I teach you everything in that course. Do not sleep on this. And don't go and pay a ton of money elsewhere unless you want to. But yeah, I just wanted to do that, give you the opportunity to learn it without breaking the bank. And yeah, and Happy New Year. So with that said, thank you so much for joining me on Empire Secrets. I will see you on the next episode, and have a great, great rest of your week. Bye for now.